Hey out there, legal warriors. Can another state order you as a citizen of Washington state to travel to their state to testify in a criminal case? Are you interested in that area of the law? Do you wonder what the answer is to that question? It might surprise you, so stay tuned because this is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear, and I'm a defense attorney in Lynnwood, Washington. My law firm has been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington state for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump right into it. You're sitting around in Washington state, you're minding your own business, and maybe you were a witness to a crime in another state. Let's say Nebraska, let's say New York. You're a witness to a crime way a million miles away, and it's been a year, it's been 2 years, and all of a sudden you get a command to appear in front of a superior court in Washington state where they're purporting to order you to travel against your will all the way to the other state to testify, and you have no control over what happens. You have no control over when or how, and if you don't do it, you're gonna be in some big trouble. Can that happen? Well, unfortunately, the answer is yes. And in this video, I'm going to cover the 4 things the other state needs to show and the 4 ways you might be able to defend one of those charges. And guess what? My firm has successfully defended and kept people in Washington state before. So the statute that controls this is RCW 10.55.020. And we're going to link to it in the description. And not many people know about this statute. Heck, I didn't know about it even until the last couple years, when I had people asking me to help them stay in this state and not have to travel to another state. So how does it work? Well, the other state, let's just say Nebraska for sake of argument, they need to basically have a judge in that state fill out a request, basically a document that they're going to send to a prosecutor in Washington state and ask the prosecutor to file a motion ordering that witness to appear in Nebraska. So a prosecutor in Nebraska drafts something for the judge signs it, it gets sent to a prosecutor, let's for sake of argument say King County, and then the King County prosecutor brings it in front of a judge, and the judge says, yes, we're going to set a hearing, and now the witness is ordered to appear in court. Man. So you don't know what to do. Well, get yourself an attorney, and then you're going to go to court. And the 4 things that Nebraska has to show to order you to travel all the way there to this other state is, number 1, that it will not be an undue hardship. Number 2, that what you have to say is material and really matters to the case. Number 3, that you're going to be there for a specific number of days, a specific amount of time. And number 4, that they're going to pay for it. They're supposed to pay you to go there. You shouldn't have to pay for it yourself. So let's just get into all of those and how I have successfully, and my firm has successfully defeated these requests to order a citizen of Washington state to go somewhere else against their will. So the first thing we want to talk about is undue burden. Will it be an undue hardship for someone to go there? So are you old? Are you sick? Do you take care of a 2-year-old and no one else can watch the 2-year-old? Is it during COVID? One of the things that we might be able to argue is that it's an undue hardship. You're going to lose your job. You're going to be homeless if you go there. These are things that we need to respond to in a motion ahead of time. Material, right? Is the testimony material? It's got to be in the document. I've had a case where there was nothing in the document about how the testimony was material. It just said that this witness was needed. Well, the judge in Washington state has to weigh the interests of the citizen versus the interests of the other state and determine whether or not we're going to inconvenience the citizen of Washington. And if that form that the court sends from Nebraska in this case doesn't say how the testimony is material, that motion's got to be denied. And my firm has won a case on that issue before, and that motion was denied to force a client to travel somewhere else. Next, and this one is missed, I've seen it missed, is that other jurisdiction has to say how long. It has to be a known period of time, a specific period of time that the citizen is required to be away. It can't say something like a minimum of 1 day. I've seen cases where the other state says, we're commanding such and such to be in our state for a minimum of 1 day. Well, that's not a specific number of days. Is that 1 day, 7 days, 15 days? How can the judge here balance factors if it's an unknown period of time this Washington resident is going to be ordered away? I mean, what a bunch of phooey is that? That just should not be allowed, and happily, I've seen it not allowed before. I've seen it allowed, I've seen it not allowed. And finally, the fourth way is who's going to pay for it, right? The statute says you're supposed to be paid like 10 cents a mile, and I haven't seen that enforced, but basically the court better be ordering if they say all these factors are met and the Washington state person needs to go. How are they getting to the airport? Who's paying for the flight? Who's paying to get from the airport to the hotel? Who's paying for the hotel? Who's paying for the transfer from the hotel to the court back to the hotel to the airport, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That all needs to be spelled out, and if it's not, it may not turn out too great for the witness. So what happens is a motion will be held. You'll have a chance to appear in court and say that statute has not been met. Make those 4 arguments, and hopefully one of those arguments can work and you won't be forced to travel. One of the worst things I could see happening to someone in Washington state is a dispute that's not theirs, a dispute they didn't ask for. They're a good Samaritan, they're a witness, and now all of a sudden their whole life is upside down because some prosecutor wants them there. And while sometimes that might be necessary, we need to make sure that we're protected here. We need to make sure that there is the least amount of burden on the citizens of Washington state when it's to enforce a law somewhere else. And if that statute isn't followed, it should not be granted. As you can tell, I'm passionate about this. So if you found this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. More importantly, if you're facing a situation like this and you want to fight it, feel free to give my office a call. We'll listen to what happened. We'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.